Ah, how convenient. A light when I don't even need a light. Oh my god, I like it from a filmmaking perspective. Hello, it's Hussein Zaidi. But I'm not sure it's going to suit the purpose of what I have in mind, which is to forego my exercise, getting in touch with my niece to wish her a happy 23rd birthday, and various other serious endeavors, to put all that aside and to do something which I've been not trying. I would have done it if I'd been trying, but do something I've been wanting to do for some time. Hello, by the way, it's zAiDiBoy, Hussein Zaidi. I know you hate me or you're not watching this logical loop there, but I appreciate you if you are watching this. And try to understand that there's a good chance, about 9 times out of 10, that I'm more intelligent than you. This is a fact based on my own scientific observation. And if not, if you feel that you're more intelligent than me, then at the very least suspend your judgment and listen to what I'm saying rather than judge me as a brown moron, wannabe multi-millionaire blogging entrepreneur type of person who does whatever the hell he likes with no regard for consequences. What I've had in mind for some time, my dear atheist friend, is I'm actually uploading another video on my my iPhone, right? My God, this thing is bright. What I've had in mind for some time is the following, which is, oh God. All right, so this is what I have in mind. Daniel Dennett, he's awesome. He follows me on Twitter and has been for several years now. Okay, my atheist friend, @atheist minus, who I know in real life, by the way. He's a really good friend of mine. We work security jobs together. A security job. Dennis Mikhailov. He's like, he messages me one day and or emails me and he's like, he was just new to Twitter and he's like, Daniel Dennett, world famous atheist, he's got hundreds of thousands of followers and he only follows 32 people and you're one of them. And then he's like, why is that? And I'm not even sure I'd realized until then what was going on. But I mean, needless to say, I sent Daniel Dennett. Daniel Dennett's a great man, by the way. And you know what? I'm a Shia Muslim. And I can tell you that there are people like Critch Hitchens, okay, and Daniel Dennett, who call themselves atheists, whereas from our perspective, they're not ungodly. They're believers. They're believers. They may not be religious. Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Shintoism, Confucianism, Judaism, that stuff is beneath the level of belief. Belief is at the top. There's a verse in the Quran that says that some of these desert nomads, O Muhammad, come to you and they say, we are believers. Say to them, no, you're not believers. Rather, say, because we're not, you say to them, you're not believers because belief has not yet entered your heart. Rather, say, we are Muslims. Okay? Say we are Muslims. Anyway, what I've been wanting to do for some time is, okay, so Daniel Dennett, Sam Harris, obviously, and the late and great Critch Hitchens. I was tempted to go like this, but I won't out of respect. His 5-year death anniversary, may he rest in peace and be elevated in stations in the afterlife, just passed recently. Sam Harris blogged about it. I wish he was more like Hitch. Sam Harris is the one I'm after, by the way, but we'll get to that. Richard Dawkins doesn't count. I sent Daniel Dennett a copy of my, like, I've written books, by the way. I mean, you think I'm an idiot. Here's my latest book, The Art of Suffering. It's not even my latest anymore. But, you know, this is, and by the way, this is like, I mean, I've tried everything. This is like a how-to manual for dealing with suffering. It's awesome, by the way. I can open it anywhere. Okay, so, like this chapter right here, Exploring Suffering, okay? Okay, so The opposite approach to accepting your suffering outright is to explore it and find out more about its nature. This is not an investigation of the mental sources of your suffering, but physical things about it. Does it feel heavy or light? Is it queasy or prickly? Can it have color? Can it be said to have color or position within your body or frame of reference? Try and focus on the suffering itself without asking all the usual questions of what is causing it and why you're suffering to begin with. You're not going to tell me that paragraph is fucking golden. I got a whole goddamn manual, and it's purposely small because I got other shit like this. This is my first book that I wrote. It's not even the first. The first book I actually discovered in a manuscript somewhere, and I just pulled it out. Actually, it's right here. This is the first book I wrote. And I wrote 55 pages of this sci-fi novel. 55 computer pages. Okay, this is double spaced. I did it exactly the way they tell you. They're like, oh, well, you got to put blah, blah, blah. And each page has my name, zAiDi, at the top with the page number and all this bullshit, double space, blah, blah, blah. And I gave it to, like, a college professor, and obviously he basically shot the air out of my balloon. Actually, he said something very apropos. He pointed out, like, about 30 cliches in this manuscript. And he blew my mind. You know, stupid things like night is cold as steel. I mean, I didn't use that, but things like that. Cliched enough. He was a very high-level man. He was actually in the who's who of poets in America kind of thing at one point. Anyway, he said, as a Muslim, as an editor, I would probably show to my publisher something, the way you're writing and the way, whatever this is definitely good stuff, he said. Go to bookshops and start exploring genres and stuff like that right away. And what I would be interested in is something from a Muslim perspective, which is this. 450 freaking pages, okay? Which is actually single space 220, oh God, that's Barney from Napalm Death. With a cigarette hole in the middle. I met Barney from Napalm Death. Okay, anyway, a Shia Muslim in Vancouver. Okay, so what am I saying? Like, I basically sent Daniel Dennett a link to my rebuttal of Richard Dawkins' The God Delusion. Okay, and it's part one, obviously. Richard Dawkins wrote a 350 book. I wrote 2 pages for every one of his pages. I went into all of his arguments. They're all nonsensical. There's maybe 1 or 2 or 3 good things he says in that whole book, which are actually interesting. And some of his arguments actually work against atheism, and no one seems to have realized this. Then I went into all of his studies, and obviously he just massacres the data, just pulls out whatever he can out of context. Like I went into all his quotations as well, right? Like the founding fathers. Founding fathers were this, and they were heretics, and are you kidding me? Founding fathers, of course, like made speeches against king and clergy. Founding fathers were men of faith and principle, and any sane and rational person, notwithstanding the fact that they had slaves and caused a native genocide. I mean, that has to be said. Thomas Jefferson had slaves. All right, so I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Is it admissible to say, well, in that culture it was considered correct? I don't think that's correct. I think a human being has a natural God-given empathy towards other humans. And if you don't understand that, then you're an idiot and you're not acting it correctly. Right? You might not understand it from a rational perspective or societally conditioned perspective, but in your heart you know you shouldn't mistreat others. Otherwise you won't have to justify it. And the Bible, I looked at another video of mine, the one I'm uploading. The Bible talks about slaves, and in fact the Quran also talks about slaves, because there is such a thing as slavery, whether or not you want to accept it. Your boss says to you, come in and I'm going to pay you this money, and you're his goddamn slave for that time. Are there limits to what he can do? Of course. Now, on the other hand, what if someone said to another person, I need money and I am yours and just pay me? Like, where's the line is what I'm asking, right? So there is slavery. Anyway, I mean, Islam abolished slavery by doing what? I heard this from basically, you know what? I'm always interested in making sure that my viewer, like, I get no views for these things, and I'm the guy that wants to make sure you've got a nice backdrop, like my Vincent van Gogh inspired paint efforts. You really need to go to YouTube and look up Dear Theo by Vincent van Gogh, which is his autobiography in the form of his letters to his brother Theo. Amazing, heartbreaking stuff. Richard Dawkins wrote a 350-page book. I wrote 350 pages rebutting the God delusion, and I ended up with 350 pages, but I'm only halfway through his book because I wrote 2 pages for every one of his pages. And I'm like, well, no one publishes or reads my stuff anyway. No one's interested. By the way, it's getting published as we speak. But no one's interested in this stuff. So I'm not even going to come out with part 2 until, like, when this hits this market and I get some traction and at least make my money back, or time or effort or whatever it seems worthwhile, then maybe I'll put out part 2, which is like the chapter 8 from morality onwards. Anyway, I'm rambling. What I've been wanting to... Can you see how mad this is? What my sole intention was to come to the computer to find some clips of Dan. I'm already at 10 minutes. All I wanted to do was to come to the goddamn computer, find some clips, YouTube clips with okay, I'm just gonna go to Sam Harris. I'm gonna leave Daniel Dennett out of it, right? Daniel Dennett's a great man, and I'm not just saying that because he follows me on Twitter. He's a great man. He is. If you hung around him, you'd be like, he's a great man. Like 99% of people who hung around him would be like, this guy's pretty cool. Right? He's smart. He's written books. He's a professor, whatever. I don't know nothing about him apart from he follows me on Twitter and he's a famous atheist. And I seen like 2 to 5 minutes of one of his speeches just to understand that he's a great man. And of course, I like his profile picture. Anyway, so let's do this. Let's say Sam Harris comebacks. So you go to YouTube, and the problem is this, right? The problem is that, you know, obviously atheists, I said in this other video I'm uploading, which is, it's called Mad Rantings of an Overnight Security Guard. Atheists, in my mind, have a Sam Harris, I'm writing Sam Atheist, Sam Harris comebacks, okay? Atheists, in my mind, guys, have a God-given function. Okay, Sam Harris comebacks. Oh my God, I can't even see because this goddamn light is black. Okay, Sam Harris comebacks. Okay, there's even part 1, part 2, part 3. So, atheists have a God-given function of weeding out the bullshit in religion. There you go. Okay, so best of Sam Harris part 1. So what I'm going to do, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, listen to each of his arguments, and it's kind of like a fastest draw kind of nonsense, right? Where it's like fastest gun in the West. He's excellent. He's very excellent, and he's a real intellectual, and I think he's intellectually rigorous and honest, not to mention witty and all these kinds of things, and handsome. I'm not gay, by the way. I really am not. I have some, like, I spam people on WhatsApp, and I have like some dude who's hounding me for my picture, eh? I've worked with him at another job, and it's like, because I changed numbers, they don't know who I am, right? So then I just spam everyone on my phone. It's so funny. It's like, I set on this huge, like, I've set up this huge mailing or WhatsApp list of like 150, 200 people that I know, but they don't know who I am. And then I'll just put some nonsense out there, and I'll give it a strange title like captive audience, and then in brackets marketing. And then people wake up and they see they've been. This is how a marketing man enjoys himself, by the way. People wake up and then they see they've been added to this strange, this strange WhatsApp group, captive audience in brackets MKTG, just like you do it in the corporate world, marketing. And then there's this picture, let's say, of I forget his name. It's the baboon from The Lion King, Lahiri, something. I don't know. He's meditating, and then it's a meme, obviously, and that's the only good thing that Richard Dawkins came up with. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, honestly, ever. Apart from the couple of things, points in the God delusion, which are sub points, but memes are the shit for sure. Right? And you know what? Darwin believed in God. Are you kidding me? Anyway, so Richard, Sam Harris comebacks, getting there, but WhatsApp, so people find themselves in this group with hundreds of other people, and then it's like, there's this picture of this baboon meditating, and then Then it says, we don't see the world as it is. We see the and then underneath, we see the world as we are. Now, it's meant to be funny, but it's also profound wisdom. And then you just see all kinds of craziness happening in that group. People start talking to one another, pictures, some guys are swearing, then somebody changes somebody changes the title of the group, and then it's like 146 like transactions within the space of a few hours, right? And then people are leaving in drones, right? And then other people are saying, hey man, people people are leaving. It's funny, trust me, I have fun with that. You can tell I'm very lonely, right? So best of Sam Harris, here we go, clocking in at 15 freaking minutes. And I'm going to, once again, play something he says and give you a quick rebuttal, top of mind, instinctive, subconscious, no conscious activity. Here we go. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. He's good, man. I love Sam Harris. I mean, how can you not love Sam Harris? You must be an idiot if you come at him with things like, oh, have you not read the Bible or Quran? Or seriously, 1.5 million people have watched this thing. Why not? 1.5 million and then one, right? Here we go. Turn up the volume on this. Oh, Snowden is here. This is very interesting. This is called retargeting. Because I watched another Snowden. Oh God, the speaker's not working. Work, damn it. This is the life of a technologist. My good computer I gave to my neighbor. And I have another computer lying around here, but the screen's not working, and I'm using this crappy thing. Well, the good computer I give to my neighbor because he's a computer guy and it needs some work, and I know, whatever. Like I'm like the martyr type of dude, right? Come on, man. This is not fair. See, this is not fair. This is a God move. And look, just as I said it's a God move, okay, I'm just going to end with that. That's why I believe in God. Things like that. You'd be like, that's the stupidest thing ever. You'll be like, what kind of nonsense is that? Guys, I don't know what to say about it, but when you believe in God and submit yourself to the universe, or when you live, when you tune in and all this kind of stuff, it's something else, man. It's something else. So the real question, once again, let's end it on a concise and cogent note. This was a stupid rant, obviously. I'm really just testing the camera on this phone. But, dear atheist friend, do you believe in spirituality? And, of course, there's two answers to that. There's the correct answer, which is, oh shit. And that person thinks, and then they have a sense of that amazingness that's out there. Or the material brain kicks in and says something stupid and pithy like, oh, it's chemical reactions in the brain. Comments appreciated. I even like thumbs downs, by the way, because that's how attention starved I am. Take it easy, and maybe we'll do this Sam Harris thing some other time.